Welcome back to another episode of Glitter Mindset. I am your host, Aria Leighty, and I'm super excited to be here. And you may notice that I don't have a fancy intro yet, and that's on purpose. I had been waiting to launch the podcast, and I kept, wanting more things to feel like it was mapped out, and I had like a strategy. But I don't know what I want the intro to be right now. I don't know what I want to be right now. And as I was trying to write an intro, nothing felt super aligned. And I kept like coming up to some walls and some blocks about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep letting this be the reason why I don't just jump in and get it going. So I figured I would just show the hell up. And once we got rolling, something would fall into place. I'd feel inspired and something aligned that really, captures what this podcast is all about would come to me. I don't have it all figured out, and that's okay. So like I always tell my clients, show up with what you have right now. Show up as you are right now, show up with the resources, the skills, the energy, the knowledge, and evolve with your audience. Take them on the path with you as you expand and evolve and grow, which I think really leads us into the topic today pretty nicely, because we're talking about expansion. We are talking about the up level. We are talking about reinvention. We're talking about burning it all down and rising through the freaking ashes, because life is too short not to be living the life of our dreams, right? It goes by, and we deserve to live the life of our dreams. But they say that your new life is going to cost you your old one. And I know that I'm not the only one going through a major rebirth and reinvention. I know I'm not the only one challenging the shit that I have been told or bought into for way too long. I'm redefining my ideas of success and expansion and growth, and I'm opening my eyes to so many more things that life could be about. Like this year has been just 2022 has been just constant quantum leaps for me. It's been a year of the burn down, and I swear to God, I thought that was 2021. I thought I had burned it down. I thought I had it all figured out. I felt like I started 2022 with like this really clear idea. I felt like I was, had this clarity about where I was headed. But I'm a completely different person than I was at the beginning of the year. Like I read through my resolutions that I set and I laugh, because who the hell was she? I don't know her, and the amount of shit that has changed since then, and just the 6 or 7 months, like it's crazy. But I do think that if I was being really honest with myself, I knew then that what I was writing was not my ultimate truth. Like there was something in me that felt out of alignment with what I was writing. And some of it was coming from what I felt like I should be writing, what should be the next, phase and the next path to success. And I was so invested in these projects and made so many steps forward towards certain goals and so many financial investments and told so many people about certain dreams. And I just felt like I had to follow through. I had to like see it through and stay committed, right? But guess what? We get to change our minds and pivot and switch directions and choose a new path at any time. It may not make sense to others, but that's okay, right? It just has to make sense to you. And there's so many messages constantly fed to us by mentors and the, so-called experts and gurus and media. Being able to hear your truth above all of the noise and then go after it is such an act of bravery. And we can normalize changing our minds and pivoting. Like we don't have to stay committed to stuff. That's just such an outdated concept that we have to stay loyal to this one path or that we have to see something through. If it's not feeling aligned, it's time to drop it, right? Or put it on pause. So if you are in that space where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? who the fuck am I? I want more. I want different. I want new. Like, let's get into it. Okay. So first of all, if you're feeling that, allow yourself to lean into these feelings. Allow yourself to explore these thoughts of wanting new, wanting more, wanting different without attaching guilt or shame to it. I love me some gratitude practices. Yes, I absolutely believe we should be grateful, but sometimes there is this toxic gratitude in our culture and in the talks about gratitude, and it's not cool. It ain't cool. You can be 100% grateful for what you have now and where you're at, and still allow yourself to want and desire more. Okay. I'll say that again. You can 100% be grateful for what you have now and where you're at, and still allow yourself to want and desire more, to allow yourself permission to dream bigger. Okay. These things are not mutually exclusive. You are going to outgrow people and spaces, relationships, conversations. Do not be afraid of this. We love them. We wish them well. We're grateful for them, right? But some spaces and seasons are not meant to be our forever. Like most things are not. Most things are not our forever, right? Some relationships and spaces will definitely evolve with us, but some are just going to keep us stuck or blocked or stagnant. And this new life is going to cost you. It's going to cost you your old stories, your old comfort zones, your old defense mechanisms, and limiting beliefs that you're carrying around. I have told the story many times, pretty much like anyone that will listen to me, that my best friend, see, second episode in, and the honorary co-host just mentioned again. But my best friend told me one time that at some point, little Aria started putting shit in her backpack and carrying it around. And we were talking and realized that if I want to get where I'm going, where I see my path going, where I want to be, I got to set it down because it's getting too damn heavy. Is it scary to let it go and unpack it? Absolutely. My trauma and defense mechanisms were like a safe haven for me, right? And I know so many people that don't want to heal because those wounds have become their identity and their badges of honor. And I really built a home in my trauma and my defense mechanisms and my broken pieces, right? I knew what to expect in there. Though it was toxic, it felt safe because I knew who I was in those stories. And I had excuses, right? So I get it. And even though I'd felt like I had moved out of that home and started moving into my healing over the past few years, I still had pieces of that I carried around like a security blanket, right? Like I could pull that shit over my head when I started to feel too uncomfortable. When I started to feel myself shift or like questioning my path, I could totally wrap myself up in the comfort of my toxic stories. And those of us that have been through trauma or abuse or gaslighting keep ourselves there because at least we know what to expect. Like, they're going to catch me slipping, right? But we have to let it go. One of my amazing clients, amazing past clients, was moving into a new house. This was a few years ago. And she was moving into this up-leveled space that more represented the lifestyle that she wanted and deserved. Just a lifestyle of like comfort and ease and just this new energy and abundance and, luxury. And it just so happened that she was going through some other major up levels and moves in her career and her businesses and her mindset. And we talked about when we are like literally packing up to that new house, right? Are we going to do a real look at what is coming with us, right? We are going to look at the things that we're packing up to bring. Are you going to pack up your junk drawer, like your garbage cans, like the clothes that don't fit? No, you're going to go through that and get rid of it. Not everything can come with you. It is going to show you what shit you have been holding on to for comfort, or just because it was like easier to keep it around than take it out to the curb where it belongs, right? Are you going to bring your old hand-me-down ratty furniture into this brand new home with the brand new floors? Or are you going to decorate the space with the gorgeous up-leveled furnishings that belong in it? Like some sentimental things that matter to you and bring you joy and are special to you, yes, they come with, right? But that ratty couch from your college dorm, no. you're grateful for it. You thank it, you love it, but it's moving on its way. It doesn't have room in the new home. And you are curating your life in the new, and your new life in the same way. This new life is the new home. You have the boxes ready to go. What are you packing to bring with you? What are you moving on from? What are you realizing that you shouldn't even fucking kept for as long as you did? And you're just like burning it and tossing it in the garbage and never thinking twice about it, right? And you're like, why the fuck did I keep this for so long? What was I thinking? And when I say that it may cost you, I do mean it literally too, right? It may cost you some investments. It cost her an investment to go into that new space. Sometimes those risks and those leaps, they come with the investments into that next level you. Investments in mentors, courses, programs that help you tap into that next level you. Maybe even actual physical things that are helping curate that space, right? But it may also cost you in losses. Sometimes it's leaving money on the table or leaving a cushy job. Because sometimes it's realizing that though something may be profitable, it doesn't align with where you want to go or what you want to be doing. You got to be willing to take those risks. You got to be willing to put all the chips in and bet on yourself, right? And to know that you may have to take a few losses or make a few scary ass investments in order to get there. And another thing you're going to need to know is people are going to have some shit to say. Your growth is going to trigger the fuck out of people, and they are going to let you know probably any chance they get, right? Your big leaps, your goals, your dreams are going to scare people. It's going to remind them of all the things that they never chased. And small-minded people are the loudest, okay? And they're going to be especially loud if they benefited from you being that version of yourself, if that kept them safe, or if that version of you didn't know your worth or value or didn't have boundaries, right? If they could take advantage of it or profit off of it, of course, they're going to be pissed. And now, not everyone with something to say is doing it to harm you, right? Some of them are just going to have good intentions and want to keep you safe. They don't want to see you get hurt. They don't want to see you embarrassed. They don't want to lose you if you move, whatever. But your desire for this next level has to be stronger than their opinions. You got to be so rooted in your desire and vision. You got to feel it in your heart, feel it in your soul, and plant your fucking feet in, okay? And side note, you can totally make these moves in silence and not tell any people until you're on the other side of it and like tell the success story, right? You don't need to go out there and survey everyone that you love and everyone close to you about the idea. If it feels aligned and it's on your heart, follow that voice. That way you don't even have to open yourself up to the voices of others that are trying to drown that voice out, right? Follow what's on your heart. You're going to have your own shit going on. Your inner child, your ego is going to try to drag you back where it's safe, right? So you're going to need to be rooted and ignore what everybody else has to say because you got your own journey and your own inner voice to, calm down. It's going to bring up all of your perceived failures and your shortcomings and the times you were wronged by others when you put yourself out there, right? But this is not a sign that you shouldn't be following that, right? That is just your inner child trying to keep them safe. So think your inner child, heal them, give them a hug, remind them that they are safe, and then look them in the fucking eye and say, we got this, and I'm about to make you so fucking proud. The thing to remind yourself when it gets tough, when the doubts creep in, when the inner child feels the fear, when the universe throws some tests your way, because it will, I don't know why, but the universe, your guides, they love to throw in some things to really make sure that you are really rooted in this vision. The thing to remind yourself of and to just know is that it would not be on your heart if it weren't meant for you. Each calling and whisper and undeniable screen on our hearts is something that we are meant to follow. Okay. The callings in your heart are not the same as the ones that are on mine, right? We all have a different calling, and everything that you have experienced, lost, learned, failed at, it has led you to this spot to be the one carrying this calling out. Okay. You are the one that can answer the calls. I want to leave you with that because you are already one step towards the right direction.